Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tina and I am the makeup enthusiast. If you're interested in seeing this makeup look, I actually just filmed a video on my first impressions on this bad boy, and these. So I picked up a few things from the new Anastasia Christmas collection, and the Prism palette. I'm sure you've all seen pictures and whatnot about it. So I filmed a first impressions and I created this look. So if you want to see how I got this look, then click the card up in the corner here and that will take you to that video. So in this video today, I'm actually doing another anti-haul. You guys seem to really enjoy my anti-hauls. I seem to get a lot of comments and a lot of views on my anti-hauls, and I love getting your comments. I love reading your comments. I love having a discussion in the comments box about what I'm planning on not buying. And a lot of people usually like to tell me that I'm wrong, but that's fine. I'm happy for you to tell me that I'm wrong. I'm happy to listen to your opinion and your advice, and let's have a conversation down in the comments box, because that's what these videos are all about. It's about making sure I'm not making those impulse purchases, which seems to happen a lot for me around Christmas, and that seems to be when I'm dropping the most amount of dollars, and I'm sure that happens for a lot of people. So I'm going to try and talk through things with you, and I'm just going to let you know why I'm not buying these things, and that might maybe help your pocket as well as helping mine. So without further ado, we're going to jump on in. I will also premise most of these products in this video today are from Christmas collections. As always, most of these photos are either grabbed from the Beauty News official Instagram page or the Trendmood 1 Instagram page. I will link both of their Instagrams down below, so if you want to go check them out, if you want to keep up to date on new releases that are constantly coming out, make sure you at least follow one of their pages, because both of those pages are all over the new releases. It's the best way to keep up to date. So the first item on the list is the new Urban Decay Heavy Metals eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. The main reason why I'm not purchasing this item is purely because of the packaging and the layout. The whole idea of the palette just speaks to me. It's up there with Dream Palette because I love shimmers, and to me shimmer shadows are the easiest ones to work with because you slap them all over. You can pretty much just blend them out and be happy with that, or grab a bit of a matte shade and blend that in the crease and you're onto a winning eye look and you can rush out the door. The Urban Decay shadows, I do have some of their duochrome moon dust shadows, and they are phenomenal. These are, from what I can see, are just their metallic eyeshadows, which are still pretty good. I have heard pretty bad things about the Heavy Metal palette, which people seem to think might have been a different formula to their single moon dust eyeshadows. So that, to start off with, kind of makes me err on the side of caution, and I just don't like the layout of the palette. There's 2 rows of 14 shadows on either side with a giant ass mirror in the middle. To me, either I don't want a mirror at all, or put the mirror similar to this, put the mirror up here. Don't put it in the stinking middle of it. The way the palette's laid out, the names are actually underneath the shades, so it looks like you're actually supposed to be holding the palette like this rather than sitting it on your makeup bench. You're supposed to hold it up and dip into it, which to me is a really weird concept. It's almost supposed to be an easel kind of thing, but it doesn't look like it has a stand. I would rather you get rid of the mirror, have no mirror at all, and condense down the size. The shadows look really nice. They look like great colors, but I just don't like the packaging. The packaging's just too big and bulky for my liking. Really interested to see what the formula's like. I may be jumping the gun too soon. I may actually commit to purchasing this, but at this stage in the game, it's not enough to make me commit, because the packaging. Urban Decay, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's all I'm gonna say. My next item is the Kylie Cosmetics Fall Collection. I have nothing against Kylie and her makeup collection. I'm just gonna put that out. The palettes look really nice, and particularly this fall palette looks beautiful with all these purple colors. But when I see people's reviews of Kylie Cosmetics, it just turns me right off the brand. I've heard really bad things about their customer service. I've heard really bad things about their lip kits. Heard really bad things about their palettes. So that's just making me back right up and go, whoa, I'm not prepared to make the commitment and make a purchase from the website to begin with. These colours do look beautiful in this fall palette, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before, and it's nothing that I don't already have in my collection. So that's my main reason why I'm not purchasing this, because from what I can see, I pretty much already have all these colors in my collection. If you guys have any other opinions, or if you've tried Kylie Cosmetics before, let me know what you think down in the comments box. I'd love to hear what you guys think of Kylie Cosmetics. At the moment, I'm not willing to commit. Her palettes just never really seem to be something that speaks to me. I have such a big palette collection, if you've seen that video, that it's getting down to the nitty-gritty of things, and I'm quite critical of palettes, and a palette really needs to blow my mind or blow me away, make me do a double take for me to be able to commit and make a purchase. I won't be purchasing the Kylie Cosmetics fall palette. The next item on my list is the Jeffree Star 24 Karat Skin Frost Pro palette. Now we're getting into some controversial stuff today. I am just gonna say I don't like Jeffree Star. I'm a big believer in giving people second chances, but when you're given second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh chances, I think it's pushing the point. I do think people can change, but I think he keeps saying he's going to change and be a better person, and he doesn't. I'm not one for how he portrays himself, and his lifestyle. It doesn't really sit right with me. I know that his fans love him the way he is. I know his friends love him the way he is, but that's great for them. For me, the way he acts on his channel, it just doesn't sit right for me. And I can't get behind a brand's products when I can't get behind and support the person that owns the brand. So that's my opinion. That's solely my opinion. You may agree with it, you may disagree with it, but that's just how I feel about how he carries himself on social media. In terms of his product, this product itself, I haven't heard very good things about the Skin Frost. I have never been game to buy one because they're like this big and nobody needs a highlighter that big. So purely for that reason, I've never even purchased his highlighters, because there isn't room in my collection for a highlighter that's this big. Yeah, I've just never really been able to support his brand, and this palette is not going to make me start supporting his brand. So I won't be purchasing it. The next one is the Too Faced Unicorn Survival Kit. I love unicorns as much as the next person, but I don't need a unicorn survival kit. In this collection comes a limited edition makeup bag, which is quite. There is also a deluxe Unicorn Tears La Creme lipstick, a deluxe Unicorn Melted Latex, and a special unicorn highlighter, which is a blue to pink shift glow. I'm not a big fan of the Too Faced lipsticks. I actually have one in my project pan that I'm trying to get rid of. I have a few others in my collection. I'm not the biggest fan of their lipsticks. The Melted Latex I haven't really tried, so I'd be open to trying that. My only issue is I feel like the lipsticks that I have from Too Faced tend to look, I don't even know what the right word is, like they look chunky and crepey and I don't know, like patchy on my lips. So I'm a bit concerned about how this Unicorn Tears lipstick would look on my lips, particularly being like a bluey, shifty kind of sparkly colour. The whole idea of the Melted Latex kind of turns me off, so I wouldn't be sad to not have that in my collection. And the Unicorn highlighter, which is a blue to pink shift. I have a couple of like duochrome kind of highlighter palettes. I've got the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia, and I also have the Alchemist palette from Kat Von D. So I feel like I've kind of got everything covered on the coloured highlighter situation, and I don't think I really need another one, because at the moment those ones I don't really reach for them all that much. They're not the first thing I reach for, and I kind of have to make sure that they kind of go with my face makeup before I can grab them out. So I don't need another coloured highlighter. So that's the main reason why I won't be purchasing this kit, because I don't really have a use for anything in it. The next item, or items I should say, are the Natasha Denona holiday palettes. These palettes are gorgeous. Like, they're gorgeous. They both come with five shades in it. It's a 5-pan palette. I think we're looking at around the $40 mark for these. So there's a Joyous and there's an Aeris. Now, I like certain colours from each palette, but I don't like them enough to commit to a 5-pan palette for $40 odd. There's other colours in the palette that I wouldn't reach for. I feel like these two palettes, if I picked them up, they'd end up at the back of my drawer, and I would occasionally go, hey, I really want to do like a bright gold or a bright blue eye look, and I'd pull them out. But that's not going to be happening very often, so I don't think I would get very much use out of them. The gold in the Joya palette is stunning, and the blue in the Aeris palette is amazing. I just wish that you could pick some of these colours up by themselves. Like if she brought out single pans, I feel like she would end up making a lot more money. I feel like they're not really all that Christmassy. The Joya palette to me looks more Christmassy than the Aeris palette, and I would love to try some Natasha Denona eyeshadows, but I just can't commit with the price. Like the big pen palettes to me look amazing, but I just can't really pull the trigger on that price. I think they end up being like over $200 or even $300 in Australian. So that's a lot of money for me to pay when they're not really, I don't know what the right word is to say, like when they're not like a pro brand. To me, $300 is a price you pay for like a pro palette. I would rather spend like $300 on like Inkblot, I think, but I would really be open to trying Natasha Denona, but at the moment I just don't have enough dollars to be like spending them dollars on Natasha Denona. But I think these palettes are really beautiful, but I don't think I would get any use out of them. Next on my list is the Morphe 3502 palette. I didn't buy the 3501 palette. I haven't brought any of the 35 palettes. My main reason for that is the size. Like the Morphe palettes are huge, and I have limited space as it is without starting to buy huge palettes. There's a lot more other palettes that I would like to spend that money on, and I feel like every time I look at a Morphe palette, like yeah, I go, oh, I like that shade and I like that shade and I like that one, but there's so many colors in the palette that don't speak to me. Well, A, I should say don't speak to me, and B, seem to be lots of the same color. And I know a lot of people have this complaint with Morphe. I know a lot of people say, why don't you cut your palettes in half or even quarter, and you can still get the same effect because half of the colors in the palettes look the same. So I don't really want a 35 pan palette of colors that pretty much look exactly the same. I would love to try them. I would love to try Morphe. I've heard great things about Morphe. I just don't want a 35 pan palette. Like I just don't want that in my collection. So I won't be purchasing the 3502 palette. The next one is the Ciate and Trendmood collaboration palette. Now here's a photo. I'm also going to try and insert a photo of the concept photo compared with what we actually have. And as you can see from the photos that I've put here on the side between the concept palette and what we've actually got, there's a big difference between the two. I was actually thinking about purchasing the palette when I saw the concept photo because I was like, man, some of those colors are gorgeous. But then they've released the actual palette. It doesn't look good. I feel like this is a lesson for Ciate and a lot of brands. I feel like this palette could have been like off the Richter scale, but it's not. I feel like this is a palette gone wrong. There's like three shades of blue, which kind of look different, but also kind of look the same. The mattes don't really impress me. And from the swatches, there's only like 2 or even 3 shimmering colors. It's not up my street. If it was more like the concept palette, I would really be thinking about purchasing it, but it's not for me. Can I also address the packaging? What the hell is up with this like scale design? That would drive me insane, the scale design, because of the way it kind of like, there's like this little tiny bit up the top of each scale where you wouldn't be able to get a brush into. That would drive me mental. And I feel like if they changed the design of the palette, they could get more colors in there and make it a more cohesive palette. So I won't be purchasing that one. I feel like that's a train wreck waiting to happen. The last item in this video is the Tarte Tartelette Toasted palette. Now I've heard really great things about the Tartelette palettes. I think they have the the original Tartelette palette, they've got the Tartelette in Bloom, and now they've got the Tartelette Toasted. I kind of feel like this is a little bit too late, a little bit too little too late. The colours in here actually look really nice. The shimmers look like they would be gorgeous, but I feel like, as I said, this is a little bit too little too late. I feel like everyone's kind of already jumped on the warm tone eyeshadow bandwagon, and they're kind of getting a bit sick of being on the bandwagon for the warm tone eyeshadows, and they're kind of starting to get off it and move into like the purple kind of side of things rather than like the red warm tone colors. So I feel like they're a little bit too late on the bandwagon. I have a Tarte palette and it's alright. I don't reach for it at all. It's a Christmas palette from a fair few years ago. I don't really reach for it all that much. And I've swatched the Tartelette palettes before and the In Bloom palette, and they're nice, but I've kind of already got my neutral side of things covered. I don't really need any more neutral palettes. And as I said earlier, because I have such a big collection, I'm kind of getting down to the point where I'm quite critical of new releases and I'm quite critical of new palettes, and it really has to catch my eye and catch my attention for me to actually commit and purchase it. So I won't be purchasing this, but I think if you haven't got like a nice neutral palette or even a warmer tone neutral palette, I would definitely recommend this one. I would definitely recommend you check it out because it looks like the colors, there's a good range of warm tone colors, and if you're just starting to get into warm colors, it's a good option because they're kind of not so intense, and it's kind of a good way to dip your toe in the warm tone eyeshadow realm and start there and then kind of work your way up to like your modern renaissance like red, pink, burgundy colors. So I think if you're a newbie and you're just starting to kind of spread your toes and branch out into different kind of makeup looks, I think this would be a great palette. But because I've already got such a large collection, I don't think that this is missing from my collection. I don't feel like there's a Tartelette Toasted size hole in my collection that this will fill. But I think it's a really nice palette. It's just not for me. And I do like the packaging. I think the packaging is really cute. It looks really like fiery and like it feels like you're by a fireside and, you know, with a hot chocolate and everything like that. So that's everything in this Andy haul, everyone. Let me know your thoughts on everything that I mentioned in this video, whether you'll be picking any of them up, whether I've changed your mind about picking any of them up, and that would be interesting for me to know. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up for me. Make sure you smash that like button down there. If you want to see more videos from me, click the subscribe button down below. Thanks for coming by to watch this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.